So, Israel 1, USA 1. Tough to call. The speed of the Israeli team is going up against the size and strength of this USA team.
Fight.
And you can see the Israelis rushing in there from the side. Going for a takedown. Lovely rush there, but it's followed through by these Americans. Double takedown there. And you can see that another Israeli has been taken down by the Americans. The fighters bunched up there. They're having to work very, very hard, and now it is all USA who do have the advantage in terms of numbers. Great takedown there by the USA.
5-0 USA.
And that's a big win there for the USA. 5-0. However, the Israeli team did rush them there. I think they're going to have to work a bit harder because they ran into these immovable objects. And the USA using the size as their biggest strong point. But they hounded down the Israelis when the fighters came in for melee attacks. There's some conferring between the marshals with the captain of the American team there. Perhaps they saw something. As you can see, there's some intervention from the Israeli fighter there, just going for a hug. Everything seems to be in order there. Again, the USA, being such a big country, there are so many fighters. Very, very difficult to pass the selection process to be in the national team. You've got fighters coming from all different parts of the country, from coast to coast. And every year they put a mark down on this tournament. And although they were looking a little bit unsettled in the 21 versus 21 yesterday, they seem a lot more composed and at home with the 5 versus 5. So the first round there goes to USA. And I'm not sure if there's a warning being given to one of the Israeli fighters. And one of the Israeli fighters has already received a yellow card, and although it was contested, I understand that it still stands, so they can't afford any other yellow cards. And you can see that's another hot and sunny day here in Prague, and the sun is was taking no prisoners with these marshals, beating down on them, and of course they're in the sun all day.
The first round, 5 versus 4.
5 versus 4 there, I think.
One accident which we cannot intervene, but it has effect on the final score. That's why we have to refight it.
So I'm not sure if that was because of an error on the part of the marshals, but it will be
5
versus 4. The Americans taking it down to the Israelis there, coming up with some sharp blows, going for a takedown. A big sign of strength from the Americans. And these Israelis going for a big, there's a double takedown there, and I'm not sure that fight will be able to continue. I'm sure he'll be called out. Yes, he is, because he was in fact down.
Stop fight.
And the fight is concluded there. Again, the Americans still getting the result.
4-0 USA.
I think the Americans actually contesting with the fact that he was down. From where I saw, He certainly looked as if he was, his brigantine was in contact with his opponent. If you can see just in the top there. I think we'll see that long enough to get the full picture on the subject. But that's another victory for, oh, that's a victory for the US.
Please get ready for the second round.
Okay, the field, excuse me, the Night Marshal will call the beginning of the next round. Just checking everybody is, and the Israel team is ready. And there's a minor adjustment there to the armor. We go to
Fighters
the next
ready.
round of Israel versus the
Fight.
USA. And the Israeli team just waiting for these Americans to charge them, perhaps just sending a couple of their fighters in. I'm not sure if that's the best tactic, because they could be all rushed by the Americans. And some instructions coming from the Israeli there. Very, very slow start from Israel. That big shot there. Some massive shots coming down from the Americans. Being pushed back to the list now, and there's a great takedown there, and the American has gone down himself. And there's to be very, very careful. I think actually the hold, that the grip that the American had the Israeli in was in fact illegal, because it crossed the body there of the fighter. And the Americans coming smashing through with these axe weapons.
Stop fight! Stop
And the
fight!
fight has
Stop
been
fight!
stopped there. Round going to the USA.
4-0 USA. And with the result 2-0, the victory goes to USA 1.
This fight going to USA.
Next on the list, Australia 3 versus Canada 1. Then Finland 2 versus New Zealand 1.
See a much tenser
And Germany 2
Tense
versus
round.
Argentina 1.
between Israel and the USA. You can see, in fact, the Americans are not necessarily taking care of business, as it were. They're getting the takedown, but a lot of them falling down as well.